Today, we're talking to women over 40 and asking what's holding you back from losing weight. And here at Active City, we speak to many professionals in sports, fitness, health, and well-being all across the nation and helping them stay active and healthy in mind, body, and soul. So today I have with me Erak Simsson of Coach Me Slim and Trim. Now, Erak has created the Women's Over 40 Coach Me Slim and Trim Body Transformation Roadmap.
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
It's quite a mouthful, but it's good. It's good. And welcome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for everything you've done for Active City as well. You know, you've been giving blogs and whatnot, articles and all sorts. So
Pleasure.
thank you so much. So to start with, if you want to, it's women over 40, isn't it? In the Coach Me Slim and Trim, and it's body transformation. So what are the key elements behind the roadmap, behind the journey?
Yeah, Shelley. So I think, like most women, weight loss seems very simple on the face of it. Eat less, exercise more, very, very simplistic approach. But we know that for most people that try and do that, it normally ends badly. It doesn't end particularly well for them. So having been in this space now for well over a decade and coaching and training literally hundreds, advising probably thousands of women on this particular topic and being in forums, discussion groups, you kind of get to learn and understand what works and what the common sort of success things are that work really well for people and the things that don't work particularly well. So all I've basically done is I've just looked at the results I have had with women who have lost anywhere from 10 pounds to over 100 pounds and kind of boiled it down to a formula which is made up of three specific things: mindset, diet, and exercise. So that's the sort of the look, the big sort of 10,000 foot view, and that'll come as no surprise to anybody. Yeah, mindset, yeah, who hasn't heard that before? Diet, yeah, and exercise, great. But what I'd like to share with you today, maybe if I can, is just what is within each of those segments.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's mindset, exercise, and diet.
Yeah. So I tend to put the mindset, diet, and exercise in that order. So under the mindset, really, you've got three key areas. You've got women need to learn how to overcome self-doubt, self-sabotage, and beating themselves up. Those are the three things that most women struggle with,
Absolutely.
Really big time. And you've probably heard that from friends and people who've discussed it within the magazine and in your own social network. So if you can understand that, look, trying to lose weight is a big challenge anyway. Life's a challenge. Things are always coming at you. So if you're unable to learn how to stop being self-doubtful, self-sabotaging and beating yourself up, you've already lost to yourself. You've already lost that battle with yourself, and you really have got to win with yourself. If you start winning with yourself, things become so much easier for you. So that's number one. The second thing under mindset is learning to avoid the number one mistake that women over 40 make when it comes to losing weight. Because when you recognize what that number one mistake is and how to overcome it, it makes losing weight so much easier. Not easy, but it makes it so much easier for people to become successful. And the third thing is learning how to set up your environment for weight loss success. And that's your environment both at home, because you spend a lot of time there, your environment when you're at work, because you spend a good amount of time there, although nowadays those two things can be intertwined because of what we're living through. And then thirdly, the third environment is your social environment. How do you set that up with your family, your friends, when you're going out, restaurants and that sort of stuff? So those are the three key things that women need to learn and do learn when I coach them to be able to deal with, to help with the mindset. So that's the first area.
Yeah. Okay. So that's your mindset, isn't it? So what's the next step?
So next step really is looking at diet. And this is where most women tend to start.
Well, I was going to say, I think I'd always start with the diet, then bring in exercise, and then hopefully my mindset will follow.
Yeah. And that really is what probably 90% of people do. They jump straight into the diet, whether it's the Atkins, the 5-2, the 16-8, whatever's flavor of the particular year or time of the month, people dive into the diet. And they're hoping that their willpower, discipline and determination will get them through it. But actually, if you get the mindset bit right, the 3 points I've just gone through, then we get into the diet. We say, okay, fine, right. With the diet, then we're looking at learning how to delay and exchange.
Yeah.
Delay eating certain foods and exchanging, rather than denying yourself. Because the second you start to deny and you say, I can't have, or if your partner starts saying, should you be eating that? That's going to be the worst.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
when partners go, you'd be eating them biscuits, it's kind of like, really? You think
Are you supposed to be on a
bad?
diet?
You think that's bad? Watch me eat a whole packet of biscuits now, just for saying it. So it's really learning how to really delay and exchange, because when you learn to do that rather than denying, you can have success in terms of losing weight, but also long-term success, because it's a skill that you can learn.
Yeah.
And then we're looking at really learning how to eat to combat the menopause, which women go through,
Yeah.
And menopause, again, estrogen, all those things are going to be out of whack. They're going to affect appetite. They're going to affect your mental state. And actually, not only do they affect all of those things, they actually impact your metabolism. So women naturally gain weight through menopause. But when you learn how to eat the right sorts of foods, and that, by the way, that's not saying you can never have a cream bun or chocolate or drink alcohol. Of course you can, because the menopause can go on for up to 7 years. So it wouldn't be realistic to say you can't have chocolate for 7 years. That'd be crazy. I
think we would all just ignore you anyway.
Yeah, I'd ignore myself as well. I'd defer to Mr. Columbo behind me. But no, joking aside. So if you can learn how to eat in such a way that you actually help to, I call it calming the menopause storm. I did a whole talk on this. But when you learn to eat like that, you can actually thrive through the menopause and come out the other side fitter, healthier, and slimmer. And I know that might sound far-fetched for some people who are listening, but I've seen it so many times now. I know it can happen. And then the third part to do with the eating really is it's moving beyond the dieting mindset. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's giving yourself a healthy weight range to live within. I know so many women that will get down to their lowest weight and try and sustain it within 3 or 4 pounds. And the reality is you can fluctuate 2 or 3 pounds in a day.
Yeah,
imagine that over a weekend. So if you've got down to your lowest weight and then you gain a pound or two, suddenly you're back on, I've got to watch what I'm eating, back on a diet. Whereas if you've got a slightly bigger range, maybe depending on what your starting point was, it could be 7, 8 pounds, it could be 14 pounds. And for your listeners, they might think, what? This guy's going to give me 14 pounds to play with. Well, if you've lost 5 or 6 stone and you can stay within 14 pounds for the rest of your time, to me, that's a pretty good result. But what it does is it gives you more flexibility. You're not constantly having to watch every single morsel that goes into your mouth.
Yeah.
You can be a little bit more relaxed. And when you get to the top end of your weight range, that's when you can sort of rein it back in a bit. But you're not constantly having to look at what's on the plate. You're not constantly having to worry about going out for meals or to restaurants or events coming up. You can lead, just a normal, regular kind of life, So that's pretty much the diet side of it.
Brilliant. Excellent. And it goes back to mindset as well, doesn't it? I think it's a constant cycle.
Yeah, that underpins it all.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And then so the third roadmap step.
Yeah. So the third step is exercise. And funnily enough, this is the one that, again, men and women do weight loss differently. Women do weight loss mainly sort of through diet, generally, not all, but mainly in my experience. Men do tub of protein powder down the gym. Yeah. Let's work hard. Yeah. That's how men kind of approach it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But sadly, for some women, they make the mistake of thinking they can exercise their way out of a bad diet. And you simply can't. You can't walk, outrun, outcycle a bad diet. You can't do enough. So first thing I need to say is exercise is not for weight loss. It's there for weight management. So once you've got within your healthy weight range I just spoke about, if you're an active person and you're drinking wine, eating chocolate, eating biscuits, whatever, and you're relatively active, you're going to negate some of those calories when you're in the healthy weight range. But when you're trying to lose weight, you really can't be relying upon exercise. So that's just a little prelude to the three things I'm going to talk about. So first thing is then it's learning how to exercise to tone and shape your body, your arms, your legs, your thighs, all those areas that people want to get toned up, but learning how to do it with simple, quick, effective exercises that don't take a lot of time. Because unless you really, really, really love exercise and you've got lots and lots and lots of time, the chances are you're going to be constrained with time. So you need to understand and learn how to do this in the most effective way possible. And also factoring in your health status. So if you've got a bad back, bad hips, bad shoulders, whatever, it needs to be fashioned around your health status. But that's number one, learning how to do that. The second part then is learning how to really boost your metabolism. Because again, I go back to menopause. Go through the menopause, you start losing lean body tissue. As you lose that lean body tissue, your metabolism drops. You can't burn the calories you burnt in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, if you're 50 plus, whatever. So you need to learn how to do these exercises so you can increase your metabolism so that even when you're sedentary, you're burning more calories. Imagine that, two people that can weigh 10 stone each, one's burning 50 calories an hour, the other one's burning maybe 150 calories an hour. Those figures may not be absolutely accurate. So any health pros listening to this, don't quote me on that. But the point I'm making is if you've got more lean body tissue, you are going to be burning more calories at rest and indeed when you're exercising. And the third and final point about exercise really is, and it's really important, it's all the health benefits that come from exercising. And it's learning how to exercise in a way that you can help reduce risk of osteoporosis. Big in women. A lot of women are osteopenia, which is the stage before osteoporosis, but understanding, okay, how do I exercise in order to minimize osteoporosis? How do I exercise in order to minimize coronary heart disease? And thirdly, and sadly, and I think it's one of the leading killers of women now, I'm led to believe, and I need to double check figures on this, so don't quote me again, any health gurus listening, but I think dementia now has crept up as one of the leading causes. So, learning how to exercise, not just for the aestheticness of it all, which we all like, if we're honest, we like to look nice, if we're honest, but also the health benefits as well. So that's kind of the roadmap, really, those three key areas: mindset, diet, and exercise. And I'm going to be producing the map as a document for people to, if they haven't taken notes,
which I'm sure they all have,
and want those bullet points again, then maybe we can provide a link at some point where they can go and download.
Yeah, we'll pop it in the comments, and they can in the description, and then they can go and go directly to wherever you've got it. That's amazing. That is so good, and it's so true, isn't it? I mean, we're like talking about the mindset, and we've touched on that, but it's I think that it's very important to get the right mindset and to start on your journey. And I love the fact that it's a roadmap as well, because there's an end goal. We're on a journey to going somewhere, so there is a roadmap and we can follow it. And people like you come along and you've created it for them, which is amazing. So I mean, we've touched on it, but do you want to just go through the mindset side of things a little bit more? Because I think when you were talking about exercise, sometimes if you don't get down the gym, you feel guilty, and then there's something mindset, isn't it? Or you do crack and you do have a biscuit or a chocolate bar, or in my case a whole bag of Maltesers on a Saturday night, and it's like, oh no, I'm a failure. So I think the mindset is brilliant. Now, so how do you coach people? Is you say it's a roadmap, so is this ongoing? How does it work?
It is. I think the first thing for people to understand is, yes, it's a roadmap, it's a journey they're going on. I often say to the ladies I work with, look, the person that gets to their end goal, and it never stops, by the way.
Yes, of course. No, absolutely.
Will be a different person from the person that started. So what I like to do is lay out, and this goes over and above the roadmap stroke, the formula that we're going to be giving to people. This is more about the milestones that people go through when they're wanting to lose weight. So I go through some specific milestones at the 6-week point, the 12-week point, and the biggest one being the 18-week point. So I'll just maybe touch on the week 18 point. There are several others as well, but let's just focus on that one. At week 18, I call that accepting the challenge. Because around about week 18 of losing weight, that's a fair chunk of time.
Yeah, that's a huge chunk of time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what inevitably happens is those challenges that you somehow were able to overcome right at the start of the process, just through excitement, determination, and those things, suddenly they can start to rear their heads again.
Mm.
And those challenges could be of a physical nature. Maybe it's something to do with your health. It could be to do with a work situation. It could be to do with a family situation. And when that challenge comes up, the first thing you have to do, in my opinion, is you have to accept that I've got this challenge. And then we work out how to get around that challenge depending upon what it is. Because
Yeah.
unless you, first of all, accept it, it will always defeat you. So when you accept it, we can go to the next level, which is how do you overcome the challenge? But until you accept the challenge, you'll always have to repeat week 18. And sadly, for a lot of women, they keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And they're misguided by thinking, well, if I do this diet, it will do it. If I do this exercise, it will do it. If I read this self-help book, no. The challenge is still there. You've got to
Yeah.
go within yourself to work it out and overcome it. And when you do that, you can move to the next level. But until you work out and you accept it and you get over it, you have to keep on repeating it over
Yeah.
and over and over. And you think you're doing something new with a different diet. No, you're not. It's the same person that's turned up to that new diet.
Absolutely. And it's the same, isn't it?
I'm laughing. It's not funny, but when you, and it isn't funny because a lot of people get really upset by it, but really, if you understand, it's the same you turning up. It's always
Yeah.
you, whether it's this diet, this gym, this trainer, that book. It's, if you don't change the you that turns up at the start line or prepared to work on the you, it's the same result.
So true. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that applies to most things really. So it's, if you take you into a relationship and you're not happy, and you just, the unhappy versions going into that relationship, and it's the same. It's a relationship with your diet, it's a relationship with the exercise, relationship with yourself. And if you're not happy, absolutely 100% agree with that. That's so important. And the fact that you're helping women achieve these goals and clear these blocks and progress to the next level and then sustain it as well, which is hard. The sustaining is hard because you can fall back in. If you haven't had the right mindset training, you can fall back into those old habits.
Yeah,
And
could I just say something on that, on the hard
yeah,
bit? Because I think what you've said is correct, but I think we just need to make sure the listeners understand a little bit more beyond that, because it might just reinforce a belief they've got. Because for some people, they say, oh, it's hard keeping it off, therefore why even bother starting?
oh, absolutely, yes. Okay, yeah.
So I will say to my clients, look, let's not kid ourselves. Losing weight is a challenge. And if you want to use the word hard, you can use hard. But look, you can be one or two places. You can be challenged and finding it hard to lose it, or you can be challenged and finding it hard to keep it off. Where would you rather be?
That's brilliant.
Which camp would you rather be? Either way, it's going to be hard and a challenge.
Yeah.
Either way. But where do you want to be? I'd rather be in the camp where my clothes are fitting and it's hard and challenging than I'm trying to lose it. It's hard and challenging and nothing's fitting. I look in the wardrobe and it's like I can wear that dark dress that's long. As one lady said to me, as long as it covers my wrists and my ankles and it hangs straight, that's good for me. Sad, really, that, isn't it?
That is really sad. And actually, I'm glad you called me out on that, because that is obviously a block on me saying things are hard at the, and we've got to sustain it. So actually, yes, thank you. No. There's a bit of a block that I had. But it's all good. No, it's brilliant. No, absolutely amazing. So how can people get in touch with you, and where can they find you, and what's the next step if somebody wants to transform?
Okay. Do you want my home address? No,
yes,
I'm
please.
Olivia. No. So if they go to the 3 W's, www.coachmeslimandtrim.com, that's my website. If they were to go to /Erak-Simpson, they could access my free webinar training on how women over 40 can lose weight and keep it off long term.
Brilliant. Freebies, people.
Yeah. I always give out freebies. And then obviously I'm sure we'll put a link in here for the
I will put a link.
The roadmap stroke, the formula.
Absolutely. There will be a link in the description. So go on there, and it's free. The some of the stuff's free. So just go on there and see what it's all about and do your own research. And yeah, amazing. So thank you so much
Pleasure,
for
Philip. Thank you for
coming
having me on.
in,
Thank you for having me
for
on.
coming on. Yes, not coming
No,
in at the moment, is it?
no.
But
Well,
no, it's
we'll get there.
brilliant. Yeah, eventually we will. We could be face to face doing
Yeah,
videos. That would be
yeah.
amazing. Okay, so that's it. So for today, so we will put a link in the comments, where you can find where Eric's women over 40s body transformation roadmap is. So thank you so much for coming in, and we will do this again very soon. And I'm sure you've got loads more coming out, and we can talk about it then.
Lovely. Thank you, Shelley. Appreciate it.
Thanks a
Thank you very
lot.
much. Bye.